I'm Patrick Bailey with iQlus. Today is May 10th, 2022, and in this video I'm going to create a pen cup for the current pen cup contest going on in Printables. Okay, for those of you maybe unfamiliar with Printables, it's kind of a replacement for Thingiverse these days, and also they do contests every so often, and I put a few things in there every so often, and sometimes they give away some really nice prizes, and sometimes they're just kind of some fun things to do. Well, recently I always have a list of things I kind of want to print or design or do something. And so I had something that was kind of a cup holder, and then all of a sudden this cropped up, a contest theme, pen cups. So here it is, and I'll put a link in the show notes. But people are posting all kinds of neat stuff on here. You can go look through it and download some really neat. Oh, I like that one. That's kind of cool. There's some cool stuff in here. And so recently, I have over on Pinterest, I found this and pinned it, and it's a little thing from Thingiverse. And I think actually, I scrolling through all the pen cups that have been put out there. There's a lot like this, but I think there's a fun one to do, and I'd like to do one myself and bring it to the homeschool conference this summer because I think it'd be a really cool thing to show off. Just the fact, I always think it's neat that you can 3D print threads and they work really well. So with that, I'm just going to do this in Fusion 360 because that's the place to do threads, and I like Fusion 360. So let's go get into it. So over here, we'll just do the whole schmear. So I'll go over here, I'll say a new component, and I'll say, we'll just say, call it a bolt. Let's call it a pen bolt. Call it pen bolt. Hit OK. Open up the origin. Right click on there and say create a sketch. And I got some notes here on how big I want to make it. So I'll hit S for the shortcuts. And your shortcuts may look different, but you can search for stuff. So I can actually, let me see if I can remove that. Can I remove that? I guess I can't. Oh, there I can. If you don't have certain tools on here, you can search for them and add them. So I could just search for something. And whatever this is, I don't know what it is, I can click on this and it'll add it to my shortcuts. And now it's going to be on there, whatever that thing was. And now I got to remember how to remove it. Oh, just pull it off. There you go. Okay. So... And also, there'll be a little clue here. So if it says at the end it says C, you could just use the C key to do this circle, center diameter. But I'll choose that, and I'll say, let's see, what do I got? 70, boom. And then I want to do Inscribed Polygon. Click on that, and I want to go, see, I got 90 here. It seems a little big. Let's back it off. 75. Okay, that seems a little more reasonable. Yeah, maybe not. It's still kind of big. Oh, I probably meant. Oh, I meant 90. So okay. Another thing, I meant 90 diameter. Another nice thing is, if you're unfamiliar with OpenSCAD, you can do math. So like, I know I kind of want a 90 diameter. I can type in 90 divided by 2, and it does the math for you. There we go. But that's kind of, now that I see it, that's a little on the small side, right? So we'll just say 100. Well, 100 divided by 2, I know the math on that. Yeah, that's probably good. So we'll do 50 on that. Okay. And then I'll get out of here. Now I'm in 3D mode. I'll finish my sketch. And I can hit my shortcuts. Well, I don't have to. I use Q. I use it so much. Q is the press pull. And so I can select that. And I'm going to go up, let's see, 120. Boom. Now when I did that, it decided to make my sketch hidden. I can go over here, click on sketches, bring that back. And I'll go click on this, press Q for the press pull tool again. And I'll say, I don't know what I'll say. I can just actually do it by hand here. And say, does that look good enough? And we'll say 35. Boom. And then I can go up here. Well, I could have done this different, but we'll go with this. I'll say create sketch on the top, because I can create a sketch up here. Hit S, do the circle, and now I want to do this. Now here I could do some math. So I could say, that's 70, and if I wanted that to be, 10 millimeters, if I wanted a 10 millimeter rim, as an example, I'd have to say 2 times 10, because I got 2 sides. But if I just wanted a 2, I could say 2 times 2, 2 times 3. That looks good. Click on that. Well, let me finish the sketch. Finish the sketch. Hit S. Well, getting ahead of myself. Select that. Press Q. And I can pull it down. And here you can see it's automatically cutting because it's trying to figure out what to do. But I don't have to cut. I could do something else. I could make other choices here. Also, it's probably smart if I go up. It's probably joining. There you go. So I'll go down. In fact, we'll go down a little bit into the body here. I don't want to go too far. I'll just go a little bit because I have another idea for it. I'll hit OK. And now I've got that cut. And then we want to put a thread on the outside here. So now I'm not in sketching mode. I'll hit S, bring up my 3D tools, and I have thread. I like to use thread a lot. Hit thread, hit that. And now you'll see it's just an image. It's not fully modeled. So you got to click on modeled. And over here you have your choices here. So you can actually change it to be more coarse. I could say, 2 threads. You don't want to do. I usually just go for whatever the lowest choice is there. The least coarse, so 6 in this case. And you can also do right hand and left hand, but I typically don't fiddle with that. Hit OK. And I actually zoom in here and kind of click on that plane, press Q, and I have found that if I go about -2, sometimes for bigger ones, this is kind of a bigger one, so I'll go -3, maybe -4. It's a big one, I'll go -4, which is basically changing the rules on how that thread is going, but we're 3D printing, and that kind of helps. It seems to help most of the time, so we're not loosey-goosey. Oh, and you look at that, we got a problem there. So the thread was done correctly, but it cuts into the diameter, so you can actually see I got a problem. And I can show it here. Let me see. Go here and say Inspect, and the one I always use, Sectional Analysis. Boom. Click on a surface here, and then drag it in. Hit OK. And we can see we got a problem here because that's just threaded around. So the thread's actually cut into my box. Now if I want this to go away, I can go over here and just click on Analysis, let that go away. But now if you're unfamiliar with Fusion 360, you can kind of go back in the history and fix things. You can see down here at the bottom we have this history of what we did. And actually I can go back in the history, change something, and it tries as best it can to apply everything through the history, and more often than not it works. Threads can be an exception though. But see, oh, no, I don't want that. Finish sketch, wrong one. So I want to go here. Here's the second sketch I did at the top. And I'll hit edit. And that problem is that 64. Not good enough. So we'll say 62. Boom, which will make that thicker. Yeah, let's make it 60. Hit finish. And now we probably look a little better. And I can bring back that sectional analysis. And there we go. We can see, is that thick enough for us? For our purposes, my purposes, probably yeah, we're probably good. Okay. And then I can take the analysis away. Oh, and now also you can see I got sketches down here I can see that might be getting in the way, and I can just turn them off or turn all sketches off if they're getting in your way. Or you could turn sketches on, turn bodies off. You can kind of go back and forth. Okay, so we got this guy. But what I want to do is be a little different, a little unique. Is I want to take this whole thing and kind of angle it. And so I'm going to go select everything. Let's see. Select the body. Or not select that. Select. I guess, there we go. There's one. Okay, there's one way to do it. Select the body, select that. And bring up my tools. And I have the move tool. So I can click move. And then from here I can rotate. So you can see down there I can actually change the degrees. We'll say, I don't know, how about -20? That sounds good. And then I can drag it down a little bit. And I'm just going to use that line as a guide. Okay, -20 might be a bit much. Okay, so we'll say -15. That's part of the problem. Sometimes I don't like this tool particularly because once you change something, it changes the change. So I'll hit cancel. Choose again. Do the move. And we'll do 15. And I'll drag it down like that. There we go. Hit OK. And now that's fine and dandy, but of course it's going to print funny. So what I want to do now is I'll click on this and say create a sketch. And I'll remove the body for a moment. And I'll do L, press L for your line tool. And I'll select there at the center there, and I'll go, doesn't really matter, go 100 out. Doom. Go down 75. Doom. 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 A lot of ways to do this. I just need to make a box. So finish sketch. And we'll bring the sketches back, bring the body back. And I kind of zoomed way too much there. There we go. And hopefully that looks like it should. Cut it off. Cool. So I'll select this, press Q for the press pull tool, and we'll slice it. So that should slice it. But you can see part of my bolt is over there. So I could do press and pull twice. Or I can come over here to this guy and say one side, two sides, or symmetric. Two sides I can kind of choose how far I want to go on each side. I'll just choose symmetric because that means it'll just kind of match on both sides. That's all I need. I can do overkill here, hit OK. Boom. And so now I got it at an angle. So that's kind of cool. So I would call that good. I'll save it and we'll call it, what do we call it? Threaded pin holder. Boom. And then what I'll do real quickly is I'll click right here, right click on here and say save as mesh. I just choose the defaults. And I'll go in here into, I made a folder, my first attempt, and I'll save that. But now I need to make the bolt. The bolt should be pretty easy because I don't need to angle that. Let me go back to here just to double check. Okay, it's 70. So I got a 70. I'll finish that. And I'll come up here, right click, say create new component, and I'll call it nut. I'll call it pin threaded pin nut. And one helpful clue here, it's nice to make components because it makes it easier to do things in Fusion 360, but also if you're saving them as meshes, it's nice to name them because by default it will use the name you use here, so you can lazily just save it and it will use the name you put here. So choose a good name. You can always overwrite it, but I'm lazy. Okay, so now we see this one shadowed out, and I'll just unselect it because I don't want to see it anymore. Come down here, say create a sketch. And we will go 70, right? And we'll do a circumscribe here. And what did we do before? I think I did 50, right? Okay, let me finish the sketch because I'm not sure if I did 50 on the other one or not. But I can go back over here, click on that, go back, edit that sketch, and confirm it is a 50. Okay, now we come back to here, back to there, boom. And I'll select this guy, do press pull tool and go up, I don't know, 20, 25. There we go. Hit S for shortcuts, threads, put a thread in there, model it, hit OK. Of course, you want to make sure, I always use the default, which is usually the most coarse one. But double check, they need to match, otherwise they're not going to thread at all. Hit OK. And choose that. Q for the press pull tool, and I'll say -0.4, which is probably a little overkill, probably 2 is fine. There we go. And now I want to kind of change this down a little bit, so I'll bring up the shortcuts again with the S, and I have a chamfer. And what I'm going to do is just kind of chamfer this a little bit. I'll select all these guys. Come on, select. There we go. And then we'll just bring that in a little bit, give it a cooler look. So there's 5, that'll work. And I'll do the same thing at the bottom. Chamfer. Boom, boom. And I could press 5 just to make sure I match. Okay, I think we are good. Looking good there. Save it. And then create this mesh. Save as mesh. Hit OK. And you can see there's my name, threaded pin nut. So Choose a good name. You can always change it after the fact. In fact, I can change this because maybe I don't like that. I could say threaded pin base. We'll change the name. Now one thing I can do is I can go chain. I want to chamfer this 2 on 2. So I can go, I could do it here, but just to play it safe, I'll probably want to go back in my history before I rotate it just to make sure. It's fine either way. But just to show you could do this, I can go back before the move, hit S, hit chamfer, select all those guys. Come on. Boom, and say 5. Hit OK. And even though I added that in the history, well, let me go do the bottom 2. Let me do the bottom. It's kind of cool that you can change the history and hopefully have the rest of the history that's afterwards be correct. Okay, say 5. Hit OK. Okay, looks okay there. So now we'll do the move. Good so far. Perfect. So look at that. I like it. Cool. So now we'll say, save as mesh, hit OK. Save that one. I'm going to go over in my folder. Delete the old one I don't need anymore. Okay, so now I got those 2. And, okay, one last thing. Make sure to save. Now bring in this guy, and we'll drop the base in here. And we'll drop the nut. And let's see if they'll fit. All right, they'll fit. Good deal. I think that'll be a good looking thing. Now I think I'm actually going to print them different so I can have different colors. So I'm gonna wipe that one out. Select that one. Go slice. I'm not going to do anything special with my slicing settings. Okay. Let's see. 13 hours. Okay. That'll take a while. Save that guy. And then we'll bring in the nut. Slice it. Export it. Oh. 4 hours. There we go. A little more reasonable. So it looks like, what do I see? 13 hours and 4 hours, so 17 hours. Not too bad. It looks like a big size. So we're done with this part. So now let's go print it out and see what we got. Okay, here's my pen holder for the contest. You can see how fantastic it is. Now it's pretty simple. I mean, just leaning a little to the side. But one fun thing happened. When I got it off, you can't quite tell until I move it. I was trying to screw the nut on, and I got stuck, and I'm trying to force it, because a lot of times you have to, work a little bit. But then I finally stopped and realized, I don't know if it's going to show up really well because I got black on black. I had a shift. You can see that line there, and hopefully you can see it if you look inside. You see that line? It shifted just there, so I need to go print it out again. But it's okay, because I can't get this down any further, so you can't fiddle with it. But if you want it to stay like that, I guess it works. So I'll print it out again. I don't think there's gonna be any problems once I don't have a layer shift. I haven't had a layer shift in a while, so stuff happens. But there is the excitement. So now we'll see if we win this. No, I'm not going to win it, but still, it's kind of fun to get a print done I wanted to get done and enter contest at the same time. But you might check out these contests sometimes, because sometimes they give away some really nice stuff for the guys who win. It's also something fun to do. So with that, let's go over the numbers and just go over the numbers. Okay, let's show a few URLs and kind of show how to do this on Printables, and then we'll go over the numbers. So here's the model I just put up there, so it's out there, and I'll put a link in the show notes. But more importantly, it's in the competition. So if you want to get something in the competition, it took me a second to figure this out. Over here, there's a button here, in competition. You click on that, and you checkbox anything that's a current competition, and you'll just show up. So if I go over here to the current competition, you should see I'm down there. Yay! But let me do a bad example and then take it away. So here's another file I have, which is not a thing. I'm going to accidentally make it. Oh, after May 5th. Oh, I didn't know that. Anything after May 5th cannot be entered. Oh, they want new stuff. Well, let me go to my models and choose something newer. Okay, I'll choose this one, which is wrong. I'll say compete, pen cups, and then let's see how long it takes to show up here, and then I'll remove it because it's not a pen cup. Or just, I don't think it's like a hand approval thing, because I'm in the pen cups. Well, maybe it takes a little while. Okay, well, I'm not going to sit here and keep clicking it. But anyway, that's how you do it. It should show up. We'll give it one more try. Okay. Let me unclick it because I don't want that showing up falsely. Okay, that's how you show. That's how you do it. Okay. But with that, and of course, when you do it, you may have to wait a few minutes for it to actually adjust and get in there. But, yeah, so give it a little bit of time. Okay, so with that, let's go over the details. So this guy took 17 hours and 20 minutes to print, and that's for both parts. It took 15.1 central electricity, and all in it weighs 0.126 kilograms, and at $20 per kilogram comes out to $2.52. So all in to make this $2.68, so not too bad. But anyway, so there's simple how to do it in Fusion C60, how to add yourself to the competition, and we'll see if I win. I'm not going to win. But some of the prizes they give out, they give you, like, if you see up here, I got 300 filament points. So I think it's 350, and they'll give you a free spool. So you can actually go look here, see how you can make some points, and if you win, here you get 400 Prusiments. Okay, if you win this, you get 400 Prusiments. Okay, cool. And sometimes they give away bigger prizes. Like, I think sometimes they give away 3D printers. But in this case, you know, entering these contests is a fun thing to do. And also check some of these things out, because there are some cool designs. Woven pen, that looks good. Woven pencil holder. Well, that's a cool one. Yeah, there's lots of cool ones. People keep. Oh, I saw this one today. Little gears. If it turns, I bet you it does. That's really cool. There's always cool little designs. Go see, get some ideas out there. Okay, but with that, let's wrap this up with a reminder that 3D printing is an engineering adventure that you're on. You can develop your skills and knowledge and take this in so many different ways. You can make a business out of this. You can teach others, and you can make some amazing designs. So design it, engineer it, and sometimes add yourself to a competition. I am printing out a stand for the T-Rex right now. I think it's going to work out, and it looks really cool. The design is based on the Giant's Causeway. If you don't know what the Giant's Causeway is, go look it up. I have a little more than 30 days to the homeschool conference, and I'm trying to print out a lot of stuff to give out and some stuff to sell. I'm down to the wire, trying to maximize what I can bring. I think it's going to be a lot of fun this year.